In this video, I will be showing you how do you enable or disable the charting capability provided by artificial intelligence in a model driven app and also the natural language search. Now, just to give you a context on the model driven app which I have currently, so it's a World Airlines Management System and it has list of airlines, aircraft model, destination cities, flying class, and there are many tables listed over here. Now, if I go into say airline table over here, this one. Now, I on the top bar you might see something called as natural language search, and also on the top right you will see something called as visualize. Now, what are these two capabilities? Is through a search you can specify a prompt, and then based on that prompt the result will be displayed uh, below over here. Now currently I have 15 records, but if I want to say filter, or if I want to perform a sorting operation, or if I want to query this entire table, then I can go ahead and specify the condition over here. So as you see over here, I have did that previous search, how many aircrafts greater than 500. So if you have that query, you can just specify that query, and then AI will process the data, and then it will start giving you out the result. Now I can see that there are on 3 or 4 aircrafts greater than 500 for a specific airlines, and you have got that particular response back. Or maybe you can just say how many airlines starting with character A. Now we can start typing in a plain English like text, and it will give us the result. So this is like how the natural language search works. Now as you see over here, it has appended this filter, so it says name begins with A. Now I can also say how many airlines starting with character A and total staff less than 300, and then it will automatically start forming a query. And in the filter you should see two items. Now name begins with A and total staff less than 300, and you will get a much more refined result. So this is how you can perform natural language search operation. Now there is another feature related to AI. So let me clear out the filter. So I'm just clearing out the filter, and as you see, you will see all the 15 records listed over here. Now I have this button over here named as visualize. So if I click on visualize, it will open the chart on the left hand pane as you see over here. And from here we can, there are multiple options you can expand the chart, so you can see the chart in more bigger screen, or real estate, or I just close this full screen and then I can perform various operation. Like say if I want to see the aircraft, now as you see it is showing me total aircraft. Now if I want to have a different column, I can specify that I want total staff, so I can specify total staff over here, and it will start updating the chart. Now I can even specify that if I want to have a pie chart or a donut chart, or maybe I want a column chart or a bar chart, so I can get into all this particular chart. Now depending on the data you will be presented with the chart information. Now not all chart are supported, so if you see over here I have picked up column cluster chart, I've picked up bar cluster chart. Now if you go into bar cluster chart, we can display the total staff, and from a legend perspective, let me put it as a name. Okay, and then it will update the legend accordingly. Now if I go into bubble chart, now we couldn't generate the bubble chart because the chart needs at least 3 numeric columns, right? So not all the chart you will be able to generate. You cannot even generate histogram because it needs date column to group values over time, so you need to specify that parameter correctly. uh, but overall, like these feature set are provided by artificial intelligence. Now, this is available not only in this table, but it is available in all the tables. So as you see over here, it is available in destination cities. It is available in the flying class table. So any table which you open, you will find this natural language search and the chart capability. Now, the main part, when say many organizations do not want the controlled AI feature implemented within their environment. So if that is the case, then how do we go ahead and disable it? Or maybe how, if I just want to give this feature only to a selected set of users, then how can I do that? So if you want to disable the feature natural language search and also the chart capability provided by the AI. Now remember, this chart is different than this chart. So this chart is the native Power Apps model driven app chart. So once you create a new chart, you will be presented with the same information in a graphical way. But this chart is different than the chart provided by AI. So this is controlled through AI. So this is all like Copilot related feature. Now, if you want to turn this off or make it enable only for selected user, you need to navigate to the Power Platform Admin Center. So you need to navigate to the specific environment. Now, my model driven app is currently stored in Girish Dev environment. Now here, as you see that I have this environment, and then in the environment, I can go to settings, and then from there under products, go to features. Now there are various bunch of features related to search, Copilot, Copilot Studio Agent. Now if you scroll down a bit, you will see a section. So this is the section you should focus on: natural language grid and view search. Now this is a preview feature. Okay, so I would advise not to use in your production environment, but you can play around with in within your development environment. And once this is taken off preview, you can start utilizing this feature. Now this says find your data model in model driven app views with the help of Copilot. Now enable this feature. So natural language feature, enable this feature for all users immediately. And this one is about allow AI to generate charts to visualize the data in a view production ready preview. Now there are two options. We can directly go ahead and say enable this feature for no one, or I can say enable this features for all users immediately. So all the users will be enabled immediately, no user will be enabled, or depending on the users as a feature becomes available. Okay, so this is user based, this one is all, and this is none. So we have an option to select all these three items. Now when I say enable this issue for no one, as you see, uh, like if I just click on say, and let me go ahead over here and do a hard refresh. Now, as you see, the top bar disappears. So I do not have a natural language search, and neither I have that chart button over here, visualize chart, through which I can generate an AI related chart. Now, if I go back to the Power Platform and I'll say users as the feature become available. However, I do not want, say, allow AI to generate charts. Okay, so here I will say I do not want people to generate charts. I'll click on save. Now, if you see over here, I have selected an option of users as a feature become available. So currently as a logged in user, I do not have that feature set available, and that's the reason I'm not able to see this information. However, for a tenant, if I make this available for all users immediately, and remember, I have kept the charts as off. So I'll click on save. And now, as you see, we have enabled the search. Okay, so we have enabled the natural language search, but we said that we don't want to use the charting capability, and that's why you don't see this option. So there are multiple combination which we can use, like either turn it off completely, either turn it on completely, or just enable the natural language search. So as you see, with this particular combination, enable this feature for all users immediately and allow AI to generate charts, I'm able to perform this operation. So that's it, folks. This is how you basically use the visualize chart functionality and natural language search capability in a Power Apps model driven app. But selectively, you have an option to turn this feature off as well within your tenant. Thanks for watching.